Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome along to our final session of the Charlotte Circus, thanks to Motorsport New Zealand. We are going to do something different again. We've had all sorts of stuff going on for the last 7 days, but for the last 3, we've had street stocks on Charlotte Oval. Yesterday, we had a few clowns running around doing rallycross here at this track, but today, we are going to test the road course driving skills. And it is going to be a test. You see, the Roval is a difficult course at the best of times. It takes a special skill set to get around here accurately and quickly. But we're going to be doing it in the stepping stone car from Indy, the Pro 2000, the 2-litre Mazda-powered machine. It's around about, 275 horsepower. The thing is, it only weighs 500 kilos. And as I say, it's one of the stepping stone categories. I think it's number 3 or 2 out of... No, it'll be number 3 out of the 4, if you include IndyCar as being the top, being number 1, 2 being the lights. This is number 3, and there is one just below it. So it's a heck of a chassis with the 2-litre Mazda engine, which, by the way, used to be in the old days a rotary. But now they use the 4-cylinder 2-litre Mazda engine. Our format, though, for the day, to try and pedal these things around is going to be intriguing. All the drivers go in for the qualifying session, lone qualifying. Then we have the heats. Top 5 go into the final. Then we have a consolation final. And however many in there will get moved into that final of 10 laps as well. So it's a pretty simple format. It's what we've been doing all through this Esport special, keeping us entertained during lockdown. Now, my name is Craig Lord, and it's been an absolute pleasure bringing these broadcasts to you, and Charlotte Circus has been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun. This will test, as I say. It's a skittery car. It's a very capable car, but if you are too heavy on the throttle on the exit, if you are too heavy on the brakes on the entry, you will spin, you will slide, you will lock your brakes, you will overshoot, you will go over the grid, you'll go into the concrete. Everything chaos can happen. If you spin on one of the very tight blind corners, the other cars are going to come around the corner, and the chances of them missing you are very slim. So chaos can happen here if you're not careful. On cold tyres on the opening lap, it's going to be like it's on ice skates. It's going to be fun, isn't it? But that's what we want. We want a challenge. We don't want to make it easy. We don't want to have the easiest track with the easiest cars. We want to test these drivers. So we're going to have our heats. I think there'll be 2 today. 2 heats followed by the consolation. We're about to grid up for heat number 1. There they all are, ready to go. And of course, well, yeah, surprise, surprise, surprise. Liam Lawson is on pole for heat number 1 with Ben Stewart in behind. Louis Sharp, that's not Michelle, that's Mama. Louis Sharp, Blake Dowdle, Ayrton Williams, Reese O'Gorman, Jensen Bate, Caleb Christie, Cooper Cooley, and Mac Hicks, for those of you who have been watching. Browan, Mallard, Manson, Forrest and Christie. If you've been enjoying the broadcasts, you'll recognise these names. They've been pretty good at trying all sorts of different things. And this is, this is random. Grab a car, grab a track, throw them together, see what people can do. Well, it's a heck of a combination. As I say, very capable cars, but at 500 kilos and 275 horsepower, they've got good brakes. In fact, they're almost too good because you can lock these tyres up very, very quickly. It's a fixed category today. No changes to the car allowed for setups. Everybody is racing the same, aside from one little thing. You can change, as always, the brake bias. You can go forward or back with your brakes to decide where you want more pressure, in the front or the rear. Now, that's a driver determination. It's how the driver likes to handle the car. It's how the driver feels that the car will go best around a circuit so that you can nicely trail brake your car into the turns. Those who enjoy it and those who don't. Anyway, Matt Hicks there, 10th. Browan will be in 11th with Mark Mallard in beside. Logan Manson. Michael Forrest and Wayne Christie will make up the final numbers. Here they go off for their rolling start. I hope they all get out there in time. They nearly completely blew it in one of the oval races. They sort of didn't get out in time. I thought, oh, here we go. Right, so this is not going to be pack racing in the Indy Pro 2000. This will be a race, both heats, the consolation final and the main final, will be a race of limited mistakes. It won't be the drivers who are incredibly quick on their lap times. Lawson in the 1:14s, I think the top 4 or 5 were in the 14s. Everybody else was 15, 16, 17s. So the time distance between these drivers is quite a lot over such a short little track. But it won't. That's not what's going to count. What will count is those who control their throttle and control their brakes and are very, very accurate on their drive lines. Because as you can see here, if you've never experienced the Roval before, it may look wide, but the driving lines are very limited. You can't go too much offline before you must completely change your attack, your braking, your throttle, in and out. That wall right there on the right-hand side will get contact. Guaranteed. People will come out of the center section of the circuit way too hot, and also there on the outside of the oval entry. That concrete will also be touched. I can tell you that at both chicanes, the first one and the second one on the oval segment, there will be issues with people over-braking and under-braking. Those who brake too early, someone's going to try and pass them on the inside. Then they might late brake, overshoot, bounce over the curbs and cause all sorts of problems. So, as I said just earlier, it's going to be about control, being smart, not who is the fastest. This is going to be a skills test. There it is, the left-hander. You can go through here too wide in racing, but one tiny little mistake. One's going to end up in the wall, the other one's going to get spun out, the other cars will come through, make contact. Very expensive repair bill. So we're following behind the safety car. Lawson on the inside in the Red Bull number 30. Ben Stewart beside in 33. Louis Sharp on the second row with Blake Dowdle, Ayrton Williams and Riso Gorman. Row number 3. In position 7, Jensen, Bate and Caleb Christie. That makes up your front 4 rows. And it's Cooley, Hicks, Brown, Mallard, Manson, Forrest and Wayne Christie. That'll be interesting. Here we go. We are green. We are underway in the first heat here with Lawson, Stewart and Sharp and Dowdle. And let's wait for the contact. Here goes the first attempt on turn number 1, the very sharp left-hander. You go out wide, you can hit the wall. You go on the inside, you end up scrubbing and sliding across the track. It's a heck of a track to master, as I said. Riso Gorman, currently 6th. Jensen, Bate in 7. They all go through single file because they know cold tyres. Cold tyres. 5-lap heat race means you've got 1 lap to warm them up and 4 laps to then try and do something. Liam Lawson out on his own, doesn't even have to worry about things at the moment, getting caught up in other people's carnage. Louis Sharp currently in 3rd, already out on the own. And there's Williams in 4th. Blake Dowdle and O'Gorman, everyone's being very calm. I think everyone's a little scared. Maybe the first 2 sessions here in the Charlotte Circus has opened the eyes a little bit of some of these drivers and gone, well, if we crash, we're out completely. If we're just sensible about this, we might actually have a good race. Mallard sitting in 12th position. We'll wait for timing to come up, but I suspect it'll be fairly extravagant in the numbers. I'm thinking Lawson will probably get in the 114s pretty quickly. Stewart will be there right behind. Sharp, Louis Sharp should be in the 14s or 15s. First laps were in the 20s. That's the difference. Cold tyres. We'll see how those numbers come down once they start warming up. We're on board with Stewart at the moment, chasing down Lawson. This will give you an idea of how close the concrete gets. And watch the wheel work as they try and keep these cars on the track. Not only just through the centre segment, but under brakes. Here we go. Under brakes. Let's see when they brake. When does Lawson brake? About the 150. Heavy on the brakes, no smoke. So it's well controlled, goes very wide, almost clips the concrete. And then again with Lawson, he could be purposely going for that. He's pretty accurate. I think he knows how to drive a car, whether it be simulation or real time. Stewart is doing a great job sitting in behind. The gap is only 0.4. This is quite a very skillful drive here by both of these young men. Lawson and Stewart leading the field with Sharp on his own in third. Nobody around to challenge at all. There is Williams, got the same issue. O'Gorman, Dowdle. Now we've got a little fighting pack. That's Browen. Oh dear, there's the first sideways. Someone almost wiped into the back. Was there contact? No. But evasive manoeuvres. The advantage with the Indy Pro 2000 car is the brakes are good. They are really good. So if you start to lose it, the brakes can be used. The mechanical grip is not bad. You can fiddle with the brakes with your foot and try and get a little bit more control back in the car to save you going to a full slider into the wall. So heck of a car to learn how to drive in real time. There's Wayne Christie, currently 13th, doing lap times of who knows. Well, here's an example. You know, I told you that Lawson will probably punch the 14s. Well, he has a 14.9. Wayne Christie is 123. Michael Forrest is 119. And Michael Forrest is no slouch. So that's the timing. Stewart's a 115.1, so there's only 0.2 between them. But as I said, this is all going to be about mistake. Who makes a mistake is the one that is going to have a problem here. Not the fastest. Don't have to worry about speed. No mistakes is everything. Lawson 114.4, Ben Stewart 114.5. What a fantastic chase this is. Louis Sharp is in 115s. Williams is 115s. The rest of the field is 15-15. Then it's 16s and 17s. Look at the difference in timing. On board, looking back with Liam Lawson. Let's just have a listen here and get a feel for how calm he is. You may have noticed there was no banging on the throttle. He actually coasted through that turn. On board with Stewart. Let's get a feel for how he does it. Intriguing, isn't it? There's a few places here where both drivers actually coast through. They don't keep their foot in it. And that's the difference between knowing that you can actually be faster by not giving it any throttle. And the application is pretty good, but I think that Louis Sharp has had a problem because he's moved down into fifth now. And Williams and O'Gorman move up. So Louis caused himself a problem, I would say, which is, as I said earlier, easy to do on this track with this car. Lost valuable spots, was out on his own, so it can't have been contact. Car's still in one piece. I would say just a unfortunate braking or acceleration. Here they come through the chicanes, getting ready to take a checkered flag. Won't be far now. Liam Lawson, Stewart in behind. Stellar job by Ben Stewart. Williams has moved up into third. He'll hold it for the final time. The last chicane. Here we go. Oh, a bit loose there, Liam, but checkered flag nonetheless. Best time 114.4, and Stewart was actually slightly quicker, but that's because Lawson was a little loose at the end. Williams in third. Nicely done. With Dowdle getting in. Okay. Dowdle going through in fourth. Louis Sharp in 5. Lost that podium position. Reese O'Gorman got ahead of Bate. Hicks, Browen and Mallard managed to move up. So there we go. Pretty cool. Nicely done. And I'm surprised by the lack of incidents there. I genuinely am, but I think that might have been more of a fear factor of hitting the concrete than anything else from the drivers realizing that you smack it, well, you're completely out. So let's just circulate. And as I said, the times are quite dramatically different. 114s to 120s. Quite a split. So we get into heat number 2. My guess is this will be the final heat for today. Cameron Dance, Matt McCutcheon will lead. Daniel Hedderscheid will be in 4. Matthew Pluck in 5. Mandela Pluck in 6. Marcus Little in 7. Neil Gardner 8. Dyson Freeman 9. Taylor Bryant will make 10, the end of that 5th row with Carl Gaines. Andrew Anderson, you might know the name. Paul Smith, Matt Stevens, and Owen Todd. I can tell you that my fellow motorsport friend Andrew Anderson, I saw him in practice session earlier today. I don't think he's ever driven this car, probably never driven this track. But he was out there. I think he only got a handful of laps in. But he's here today, is Andrew. And he's in an open wheeler. It's not his normal kettle of fish. He's a tin topper. We all know that. But he's going to go out there and have a crack around here rather than one of his sons, James or Nathan, behind the wheel, which I suspect... Well, no, actually. I can't imagine it would have been paper, scissors, rock. Maybe he might have put his fatherly foot down for once and said, will you boys get off my sim so I can have a go. There he is down the back in the yellow pine pack. You won't miss him. He'll have a good crack at it. But he hasn't had the seat time in the sim that he's always wanted because his boys keep jumping in. Dance, McCutcheon, Blinko, Hedderscheid, Pluck, Mandela Pluck. You can see who's around Anderson. Paul Smith. Matt Stevens. That's where we're looking at. Paul Smith in the PPG blue. Paul sort of runs the 2AV Fun League on iRacing. There's a whole lot of those drivers here. And 2K Cup drivers. I'm surprised to see Matt Stevens so far down. And Owen Todd at the back as well. Well, it could be a safe position to be in. But up front it will be Dance. We know what Dance does in an open wheeler. He dances. That was a bad dad joke, really wasn't. In fact, I apologise to all fathers out there for including that in the list of dad jokes. McCutcheon is on the front row with him. Blinko and Hedderscheid. Ah, yes. Okay, we have lost our feed. I'm not sure why, but we have. Standby callers. So nothing is showing, unfortunately. Let's just hope we get... I know the race will carry on regardless. Our graphics board is working nicely, but I think we may have lost our feed, which we can retrieve. Won't be long. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. Our apologies, iRacing said no. But I can tell you there's been a few little bits and pieces happening back of the field. Matt Stevens, who I said I was surprised to see him so far down the back, down the end, he's now fourth. Okay, he's fourth. Cameron Dance led the way. He's still leading the way. Matt McCutcheon, Pluck. But we did lose. We're on board now with Cameron Dance. Well, we're watching him from the outside, aren't we? Currently in first place. Doing well on his own. Car number 6, the red and black machine. And that's Marcus Little, currently 14. Marcus, I feel so sorry for Marcus. Marcus has been incredibly quick in every Motorsport New Zealand e-race event, but he gets taken out by other drivers. And I think it's happened again. So he's down in 14th. Hedderscheid, who was up the front of the field, nearly, is out. He's down. I think he's still in the pits. But here's your leaderboard. As you can see, it's Dance, McCutcheon, Pluck has moved up. Stevens, what an incredible drive. Gardner and Pluck, Bryant, Gaines, Freeman. Andrew Anderson has moved up a couple. Smith is up 1 or 2. Todd. Blinko way down. Like Blinko, Little, Hedderscheid, where the front runners, well, not front, but up in the front area. They're down the back now, so they'll be in the consolation. But at this stage, we're on the second to last lap. Let's hope we can get the rest of the consolation final in during this lockdown special here at the Charlotte Circus. Day 3 of the Charlotte Circus. Everyone's a little tired. You see, that's the problem. A little tired. The cameraman fell asleep on us. The producer went out for lunch while the race was still on, or just about to begin. This is the second heat. There will only be 2 today. We'll find our top 10 grid positions from these 2 heat races as the checkered flag falls. No, is that the white flag? White flag falls. We're on the final lap now. And we'll find our top 10 places for the main final, and then everyone else will get into the consolation final to determine grid positions 11 and down. It's a 3.3 second gap. Cameron Dance, in fact, can probably just play the whole I'll slow down game. And when I look at the timing board, he's doing 1:15s. McCutcheon has just broken the 1:14s to try catch up. Probably no point in doing that. Pluck and Stevens are 15s and 14s. Gardner in 5th place has moved up a lot as well, which is a great job. He's doing 1:16s, and then everyone else is higher than that, so not a big deal. He's out on the oval now for the final time in his heats. Cameron Dance. No big prize today. It's the first time we haven't had a big prize. I could make up some kind of prize. I'm sure I could invent something, think of something that's worthy for the winning driver. But at the moment, it'll be Cameron Dance who joins Liam Lawson on the front row of our main final, because he is currently leading this heat. He goes through, he goes across, he takes the checkered flag, and that puts him there with Matt McCutcheon. Second place, will end him on the second row of the main final. Mandela Pluck moved up quite a few spots to grab 3rd, with Stevens being the big pusher of the day. And there is Gardner. Matthew Pluck down in 6th. He'll be in the consolation final with Taylor Bryant, Carl Gaines, Dyson Freeman, Andrew Anderson, Paul Smith, Owen Todd. Now, who I am... No, that's it. I thought I'm missing some names, but we're not. There you go. Dance, McCutcheon, Pluck, Stevens and Gardner. Pluck number 2. Bryant, Gaines, Freeman and Andrew Anderson. 26 seconds back. That's a big time, Andrew. Just saying, that's a big time. So your last chance, B main consolation rapid charge final. O'Gorman will lead the pack away with Pluck 2. Just missing out on that main entry. Bate and Bryant, Manson and Gaines, Forrest and Freeman with Christie and Andrew. Look at Andrew Anderson playing games there. In 10th place for this race. Christie and Smith, Hicks, Todd, Bro and Blinko. Now all of these names are people that crashed out, and that's why they're so far down. Mallard, Little, Cooley, Hedderscheid. I'm pretty sure, if my calculations are right, that they'll all end up in the main final anyway. So hang on, I'm just calculating. Let me go through here. So that'll be that there, and that's, so we've got 10, so 20. No, the top 15 will. So 5 are going to miss out. So those 5 at this stage are Blinko, Mallard, Little, Cooley and Hedderscheid. Everybody in this field is capable. They'll all be wanting to get into that top 15 now, which is determining, yes, one, to get through to the A main final, but secondly, your grid position for the A main final. I don't think that'll be on their mind. I think what will be on their mind is actually getting in to the main final. So there we go. We're looking at the competitors here, the B main and the Tatus PM18. That is the Indy Pro 2000 car. The Mazda 2-litre powered machine, 275 horsepower. It only weighs 500 kilos, plus however fat you are and how much fuel you've put on board. They run the Cooper tyres. They run the Cosworth dash and paddle system to drive the Mazda. 6-speed gearbox, but you don't really, in a couple of spots here, you end up in 6th gear. Oh my goodness, on this track. But anyway, heck of a machine. And now these guys are going to get into it. So, consolation, 5-lapper. 5 go home, 5 go back to the garage with their heads in shame, waiting for their crew to push the car into the transporter while they sulk inside their motorhome. Start to think about protesting against the stewards who didn't like them. Complaining about other drivers blocking their racing line. We all know how it rolls, don't we? O'Gorman, Pluckbait, Bryant, Manson, Gaines, Forrest, Freeman, Christie and Anderson are your front 5 rows. Then it's Caleb Christie with Paul Smith, Matt Hicks, Todd Browen, Blinko, Mallard, Little, Cooley, Head-a-Shide. Can you hear us? You're down the back. You got to make some moves, son. Got to make some moves, and you only get 5 laps to do it. The one who has to make the biggest changes, Head-a-Shide, needs to move up 6 spots. Cooper 4, Marcus 3, Mallard 2, Blinko 1, but they've got to hope that 5 of the front will move out, and that could well and truly happen on this track. If you missed the earlier session, I was trying to explain how difficult it is. Well, let me tell you how difficult it is. The concrete is right beside you. These cars have fantastic brakes, very capable cars, but they lock up very easily as well if you're heavy on the brakes, and the art here is being super smooth. Same with the throttle. Only 275 horsepower, but it's also only a 500 kg car. You put your foot down and you are going to go around in little circles on the exit of a turn. The safety car has moved itself into pit lane. The lights are off, the flag is waving, and O'Gorman leads the pack away. Let's hope everyone stays calm through the first chicane, the start of the race on cold tyres. Really, the top 10 just have to play smart. Don't do anything stupid. You're straight through into the final, and you get a good grid spot. It's the lower 10 here that are going to play games, is my suspicion. And they're already thinking about it. 42 is losing spots. Wayne Christie, he's already down into 13th place. And these other drivers are going to try. One's in the water. I think that's Gardner. And 23, Todd. I'm pretty sure. Or is Gardner already through? No, it must have been Browen. Yes, sorry, it's just that the graphics were the same. I think Gardner's already through into the final, isn't he? Yes, he is. So, Browen and Todd come together. Now, that's moved a couple up and a couple down. Let's look at our numbers. Andrew Anderson has moved himself into 8th position. Forrest and Blinko have dropped. Blinko's moved up. Blinko, hang on a second. Wasn't he further down at the bottom of the field? He's now in 10th spot. How did he do that? Inconceivable. Christie is in 11th. Hicks and Paul Smith in 13. He's lost a spot. Cooley in 14. Wayne Christie down to 15. Head-a-Shide is up to 16. Little in 17. They need to make some moves. There they are down the back of the field. But this is Blinko in 10th with Mark Mallard in behind. That's an interesting race, but now that's for grid position and a little bit of pride. That is not to make it to the mains final. Gets through nicely. It's further down is the interesting one. Head-a-Shide is in 15. He's made it in there. Head-a-Shide down in 15th from last. There he is. Now, who was close? Because One of those bottom 5 needs to move up. Oh, there's been impact. I'm not sure who it was. I think it is Cooley and Smith. Yes, it was. Hedderscheid goes into 13. Smith down to 14. Marcus Little has now moved into 15. Due to other people having incidents, I think Paul Smith has got through that chaos. So it must have been Mallard and Cooley. I think that's the 2 cars that made contact. And Mallard had done yes it was. Mallard had moved himself fairly well into it. Hedderscheid now into 13. Who's that knocked out? So Cooley's out, Wayne Christie is out, Mark Mallard's out, Todd and Brown were out on the first lap. Any other changes? Blinko is now in 8th position. There's been contact. Andrew Anderson. Oh, someone's gone over the back of him. Caleb Christie has knocked out Andrew Anderson. Oh, Caleb, just too hot coming out of there. Went over the top of it off. And he's taken out himself and another car. So they will pack their bags. And that'll probably settle it down, because really with 4 cars out, there'll only be 1 other car. It's really a run now of the top 16. Because Browen, Todd, Anderson and Christie, being Caleb, are out of this. Todd's back in, but he's a lap down. So is Browen, so they're not going, well, unless somebody else has an incident, and that's highly possible. But we expected a little bit of contact, but not like that over the back. Yeah, it's not the first or last time it'll happen in open wheelers, though, is it? Mark Mallard sitting in 16th place. He is on the lead lap still, so he has an opportunity to catch up. Now, Riso Gorman is down in 6th position. Matthew Pluck has moved up to 1st. So whilst he's still going to be in the final, he's lost some valuable grid positions. Taylor Bryant has moved up into 2nd. Jensen Bate has slotted into 3rd. This is some very good driving from the front runners. Andrew Anderson has come back out. No, he hasn't. He's still in the pits. Carl Gaines is in 6th. Freeman in 7th with Blinko in 8th. Hedderscheid has lost a couple of spots down into 10th. So the pressure is on. We're seeing a fair few positional changes in this consolation final. The last chance grasp. Really, they need to settle down. They need to make sure they stay in the race and get in that final. Caleb Christie taking himself and Andrew Anderson out. Arthur Browen and Owen Todd were in the pits early on. Todd's back out there. Browen is still in the pits. Probably decided he'll just watch. Mallard still in 16th. And the gap between Mallard and Christie, which will determine who gets through, is 2.8 seconds with 1 lap remaining. So can it be done? I think it can. The gap is now 1.4. This is lap 4 of 5. We're on board with Mark Mallard. Well, sort of. Look at his wing. He's had trouble. He won't have the downforce he wants. His front wing is barely holding on. He brakes very early to make sure he gets through. He can see Wayne Christie ahead. This is to get into the final. We're on the final lap for the leaders, which is not a problem. Massive gaps between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The race is for 15th of all things, with Mallard trying to take on Wayne Christie. Mark Mallard, no, he's out. His car can't do it. Too much damage, or has he got through? This is the final lap. No, he's out. Mark Mallard is out. Wayne Christie will move through. Matthew Pluck currently in 1st. Comes around the oval. He'll go through the chicanes. 2 to do. He's got a 2.8 second lead. There's 2.9 seconds back into Manson in 3rd, then another 1.5 back to O'Gorman, who's moved up to 4th ahead of Blinko and Gaines. They won't care too much. No one cares now. They're in the final. But unfortunately, it was mistakes and racing incidents that knocked some of these drivers out of contention. 5 do have to go home. And as Pluck crosses the line, I would say that Bryant and Manson will easily do so as well. Yes, they will. Not a big deal on the race positions. O'Gorman and Gaines will come through. Freeman. Blinko got ahead. Nicely done. Move up to 5th. Hedderscheid into 9th in the end of it all. Forrest. Marcus Little made it up there, so he'll be happy. Paul Smith also maintained a grand final slot in 12th. Baton 14th, but only just. And the final person to make it through, he's only got basically 2 wheels. Would you look at it? Now I wonder, could Mark Mallard have actually made it? Could Mark Mallard have carried on? Because look at Wayne Christie. Hang on a second. Is Owen Todd going to... No, he's a lap down. He's a lap down. He won't do it. Wayne Christie has gone... I don't know how he's done it, but he's done it. Wayne... Matthew Pluck, Daniel Heddershide, they all got through. Oh my goodness, so we're there. We are there. We're into the final of the Charlotte Circus. The 3-day event. We started off with oval racing. We then went into rallycross yesterday, and today it's the Indy Pro 2000 PM18 Tatus. PM18 Tatus. You don't want to say that fast 10 times, do you? The PM18 Tatus. So now it's a final, and it's 10 laps of glorious racing around the Roval with Lawson and Dance on the front row, Ben Stewart, Matt McCutcheon. Ayrton Williams and Pluck will be on row 3 with Dowdall Stevens on row 4. Louis Sharp and Neil Gardner will make up positions 9 and 10 on that 5th row. So they're in a prime position. Waiting for mistakes, waiting for contact. Who's going to dive down the inside? Matthew Pluck and Taylor Bryant are in the 6th row. 13 and 14 is Manson and O'Gorman, with Zach Blinko in 15, Carl Gaines 16. These positions were made up from the last race. Freeman and Hicks, Heddershide and Forrest. Marcus Little and Paul Smith make it through. So too Cooper Cooley, Jensen Bate and Wayne Christie gets another crack. They're crashing on exit of the garages. They are making contact with each other. Let's hope they haven't damaged their cars. I think they've all made... Yeah, look how staggered they are. Making up... Oh, hang on. No, I'm meant to be up here. No, hang on. You get it. You're in the wrong place. I came out late. This happened on Friday night in the oval racing. I am concerned about the mentality of some of these drivers. Maybe it's lockdown, just messing with their minds a little bit. But they're trying to work out where they should be and which grid position. It's aptly named the Charlotte Circus. A little bit of self-control, a little bit of confidence in the players' gallery. A little bit of understanding of where you're meant to start the race, lads. Lawson and Dance, Stewart, McCutcheon, they're up there. They took off. They know what they're meant to do. Williams, Pluck, Dowdall, Stevens, Sharp and Gardner. It was kind of that bunch there. They all messed themselves up getting away out of the garage. They'll blame their engineers, won't they? Oh, crew chief never told me I was meant to go. Computer said no. Well, now we see the games about to start. We head out onto the oval. Come around. Safety car will dip off, peel away. Liam Lawson will decide when he's going to go. Cameron Dance will be in beside, making the big decision of sticking with or going in beside and behind. I'd jump in immediately behind and block off Ben Stewart. That would be my goal. There's McCutcheon in 5th. Ayrton Williams, in 5th. McCutcheon is in 4. Pluck is 6th. A lot of drivers further back like Dowdall all thinking, what's my game plan going to be with 10 laps? They won't run out of gas. They're not going to lose rubber. They just might lose a little bit of focus or try too hard. To win that grand prize that I've just decided is a trip for 2 to Bora Bora, all expenses paid for a week. That includes cocktail hour, facial spa bath, manicures and pedicures all round twice during that week. Not just once, but twice. Hot rock massages. And of course, the obligatory baked beans, scrambled eggs, and overcooked rubber bacon every morning for breakfast. From the buffet bar, nonetheless. However, I was unable to organise high-end flights. They will not be going first or business. They will be in cattle class, but nonetheless, that prize of a trip for 2 to Bora Bora. The green flag is going. Who is going to win it? Liam Lawson did not get the best of starts, I can confidently say. But will he care? Probably not. Dance is still in second with Ben Stewart in third, McCutcheon in 4. We're just going to wait and see what chaos unfolds in behind as people try to make up some numbers here. Get up closer to the pointy end in case there is an incident. And they get an opportunity to go to Bora Bora out on the grass. Not a good idea. 25, Manson trying to have a crack, trying to play around with O'Gorman. Blinko is there as well. Blinko says, all right, guys. Yeah, you have a... There it is. And there's the contact. 1, 2, 3. Who else are we going to lose? Blinko. How much damage is there, though? Fragile machines. Now, would you look at this? Now, this is intriguing. Liam Lawson has made a mistake and allowed Cameron to go through. He won't make that mistake again, guaranteed. Now it's game on. So Cameron Dance. Teammates in Formula First, they know each other. Oh, another little mistake, but yeah, it had to happen, didn't it? When you're going to try an aggressive passing manoeuvre through that. Matt McCutcheon, Ben Stewart, all thinking about it. This is tight racing on the Roval. You don't normally see it. Really, you don't. But they're going for it because these drivers all want the hot rock massage pedicure package at the Bora Bora Resort. Thanks to Geordie Peters at Motorsport New Zealand. He pulled out the company credit card. And these guys, one of them's going to win that. Cocktail hour. 5 nights in a row. Lawson and Dance, McCutcheon, Williams, Pluck and Stewart, Dowdle, Stevens, Sharp. Who's out? Blinko's out. Manson's out. Gaines is out. Freeman's out. Cooley is out. We've lost 5. We're down to 20. Wayne Christie can show off. He's still racing around, albeit last place. But we know he can win on 2 wheels. Lawson just leading over Cameron Dance. Now, Cameron won a week ago. Cameron did good. Cameron's going down the inside of the chicane. Cameron took a very risky move, and that has allowed Mr. McCutcheon to just sneaky up the inside. And is that Williams? Just looking at the colour scheme. Yes, it is. Now, where then is Ben Stewart? Ben Stewart has dropped down to 8th spot. So, there's been a mistake from Stewart, who was out of it. Oh, well, that's a shame. So, Liam Lawson, Cameron Dance, Matt McCutcheon. I did, by the way, get a text from Andrew Anderson saying he's off to the steward's room. Typical. Typical. Now, Ben Stewart has made contact with someone because that car is going to be a shocker. He will lose. He'll end up in 15th place. You cannot circulate with no front wing. Wayne Christie, currently in 20th, could even beat Ben Stewart. Liam Lawson now has started to pull a little gap over Dance. McCutcheon slotted back into 3rd, but here we go. Marcus Little, Mandela Pluck. Or is that? Hang on, I'm trying to see who it is. No, it's Dowdle. See, they keep changing their graphics and you lose contact with who is what. This is a position of fight. 4, 5, 6 and 7. Dowdle, Pluck and Stewart. There's Williams. Can't miss him. Rainbow car. Easy to find. But further back is quite a battle behind Ayrton Williams. Currently, according to me, is in 4th. But further back, look at that pack. Here we go. It's Stewart, Dowdle, Stevens and Pluck number 2. That mob in behind. McCutcheon's gone off the track, but he'll get back on. Only just in the pink beast. But that battle pack right there, that battle pack has been nice and close. I suspect a couple of them, what they did was made little mistakes and it closed up, and that's what's going to happen. Here we go. Trying to go too wide into the chicane. Risky, risky. Can they do it? No, it decides no. And that's the smarter play. I mean, Lawson and Dance went through side by side, but it's a big gamble. They nearly hit the wall. One went over the curbs. don't need to take that gamble. They're going to go sideways though. These two are going to have a crack at it. Just trying to see who it is. And overshoots, forces out onto the wall, 33. So that'll be further down in the field with Stewart and Pluck. That's who that was. Matthew Pluck, I think. Now Matt Stevens has moved up into 7th, so that's good. There's 8th. Now this battle pack as well. We're starting to get a few of them, all fighting for that chocolate fish. And there's the touch. I was just about to say, going side by side here is a big risk, and there it was. Wheels made contact. Psst, get out of here. Gardner currently in 10th. That's why I can't recognise his graphics. He's changed them for this race, but Liam Lawson still leads over Cameron Dance. But I will say only just. However, even though Dance has done a 1:13.9 and Lawson was a 1:14.1, I think Lawson is probably just sitting there going, why push it? I just need to stay in front. These two know what they're doing with each other. They know what each other can do. And Lawson at some point will just hold sway. There you go. And he's saying to Dance, all right, well, you do the graphic things. You do the freaky stuff. I'm just going to go round and round in circles, so to speak. Lap 5 of 10. We're halfway through, people. We've lost a handful of drivers. We are back up to, according to me, 23. So 3 of them are going to come out or lap down. So at least they're still coming out. Liam Lawson leads with a 0.3 of a second gap over Dance, with Ayrton Williams in 3rd. This is nice racing. Blake McDowell in 5th. Matt Stevens right there and behind in 6th. This is getting juicy. Stevens got loose coming out of there, tried to put the throttle down to gain some momentum. I'm seeing smoke out on the oval. I don't know who's created it. Doesn't matter for now. Let's just watch these 3. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of debris. Logan Manson, that was the one. Okay, here we go. So Stevens lost a little bit there. He's going to try. Is that trying? Are they passing who? Who are they passing here? 2 by 2, 5-5-1. That is Pluck in 4th spot. Stevens and Dowdle. Dowdle's just missed out, and Stevens has come through. He was at the back of the pack. He was 3 car lengths down, and now he's getting an opportunity to grab 4th position. No, slots in behind. Stevens gets through. He did it. He was on the inside line. Now he's going to try and hold the racing position. Force Pluck and Dowdle. Dowdle gets through on the inside because Pluck had to hit the brakes. So, let's try and nut out what's going on here. Stevens, in 4th. And these 3 have been quite juicy. Dowdle in the orange car. We call that orange, we call it yellow, we call it mustard. Mustard camel, we'll call it. And Pluck in 6th. Mandela being. Matthew in 7th. There's Gardner in 8th, and that is going to be interesting as well because McCutcheon was up in the top 5 and is now currently 9th. Wonder if he's had an incident or a broken car. He's got his wings, he's got his wheels, but he is way down in 9th. Oh, he went off on the grass. That's right. He's had a couple of offs, self-inflicted offs. Probably, and there's one running straight through. Won't worry about that. That'll be a slowdown, almost to a standstill. Another driver spins out, going on entry, though they've made contact. Well, that's a shame. I think it was Manson. I think. Doesn't matter for now. Lawson and Dance. Would you look at this? Lap 8 of 10. We need to stay here for a second because while we're watching that enjoyable racing for positions 4, 5, 6 down to 10, look at these two going. Dance seems to be fractionally quicker in certain parts of the track. Lawson gains it back in other parts. At the beginning, I mentioned these cars on this circuit is all about how much brake and how much throttle. You can't stab them. You have to feather both of them. So they're doing it in different places. Liam Lawson currently first. The gap is 0.4 of a second. It's enough, half a second. And there's 4 seconds back to 3rd place. Just listening there. He's very casual on the throttle coming out of that chicane. Of course, it's foot to the floor. Gets up into just about to hit 6th gear. When does he brake? Very late. Straight lines it as much as possible. Again, late on the throttle. 50-metre board, gently coasts through. Third gear, high speed. And that's the difference. The courage to be able to do so. Adam Williams in third. And there is Stephen still in fourth, with Dowdell in 5 and Pluck in behind. I'd say that started to settle down on lap 9. They had some very good racing with each other. That's a juicy little pass. Now, is that still McCutcheon? No, that's the other pink car. Is that Bate? Yes, it is. So Bate hasn't done what I thought he should have done, which is done up front. Don't worry about it for now. Look at this. This could be funny. That's Mandela and Matthew Pluck. Racing for chocolate fish and glory in the kitchen. Hallway banter. Up front though, lap 9 of 10 is Lawson Dance with Williams and Stevens Dow, but here's the two Plucks. Side by side into the chicane. Who's going to give up? 51 has got the inside running, will squeeze onto the wall. Oh, that was kind. That was kind. And that was the white flag. Here is Cameron Dance all over Liam Lawson. No way past. Oh, twitchy from Lawson. Very twitchy coming out of there. He went in there pretty hot, I say, late braking to try and gain the advantage. And we're only talking a couple of kilos of brake pressure, the difference between wiping out and getting through. Very smooth coming through that segment out onto the oval. Here we go. The chicane is the final opportunity for Cameron Dance. Very little toe from these cars. You don't get a lot. The tiniest amount. But there goes Lawson blocking the race line. Slick move. He knew where to be through the first chicane. Wide, close to that wall yet again. Just shutting the door. Not giving Dance the opportunity. There might be only a fraction of toe with these cars, but could it be enough? Lawson moves up slowly, squeezes Dance on the outside as they come through. Dance does have the opportunity here. They make contact, but they stay clean. They don't get in trouble. They cross the line. They're buddies. They'll laugh about it. They'll have some fun. But Lawson wins the final of the Charlotte Circus 3 here. He gets through. Last laps, those boys are doing 1:15s. So was the rest of the field. There's Adam Williams upside down. Matt Stevens to get 4th with Dowdell in 5 and McCutcheon in 6. Pluck and Pluck 7 and 8. Yeah, that'll be fun. There's a lot of cars with a lot of damage here. I hope the checkbooks are coming out. Anyway, Lawson wins, as I said, that trip for 2 to Bora Bora. That was nice, isn't it? What a prize. What a prize. Hot rock massage, Liam. Hot rock massage. Cocktail hour. The masseuse's name is Roberto, and he will ensure you have good time. Liam Lawson, Dance, William Stevens, Dow, McCutcheon, Pluck, Gardner, and O'Gorman. 24 seconds back. I told you the circuit is hard in these cars. Little Hicks, Bate, Forrest, Smith did well to stay in 15. Christie, Sharp, Cooley, Bryant and Blinko in 22 laps down. Stewart, Manson, Hedderscheid, Freeman and Gaines. 10 laps. They were out early. Gone skis. But that is it. It's all done. Our three-peat at the Charlotte Circus. The fun and entertainment during the lockdown. And given that there's probably going to be another 4.5 months of lockdown, we might have a couple more. Who knows? Depends what Motorsport New Zealand feel like doing. But it's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you. Thank you to Geordie Peters, who has been keeping things ticking over to just give everybody a little bit of a entertaining breather from the lockdown, the monotony of being stuck at home. Making sure it all comes together. Simple, short, sharp, punchy. Nothing too extravagant. So well done, Geordie. My name's been Craig Lord. It's been an absolute pleasure calling these races for you. We'll let you know if some more come through. But for now, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go get yourself an Indy car and try the Roval for yourself. Until we broadcast again, bye-bye for now.